Hello, my name is Diana and I work at the Hampton Park branch of the Forsyth County Public Library, and I am going to show you how to make a banner. This one is a spring banner, and you can make it using things that you have around the house, so you don't have to go out, you don't have to go to the store. What you're going to need is some old book pages. I just got some random pages out of an old book that we didn't want anymore. I got some twine. You can use yarn, you can use string, whatever you have around the house. I have some tape, and I have some glue. I have a hole puncher, pencil, scissors, and some scrapbooking paper you can use. I also used an old Easter gift bag that I had, and I cut out some flowers out of an old gift bag that I didn't want anymore. Depending on what kind of banner you're making, you can use anything that you have around the house. You can use wrapping paper, you can use scrapbook paper. If you really want to, you can find some really nice designs online. You can print them out. If you don't want to use all of your ink, you can just use what you have around the house. So you can see here that I'm making a spring banner, and I've done my SPRI, and I'm going to show you how I did them, and I'm going to do N and G. So the first thing that I did was rip out some pages of a book. If you have a large book, you'll just need to cut it depending on how big you want it. And I just used some small pages, so all I really have to do is cut the end off so that they're straight. And I'm not a very crafty person, so if I can do this, anybody can do it. So I just cut off the part that was torn, because that wouldn't look too great if you have it hanging up. And then I'm just going to make a flag looking type of paper here. You can cut it however you want it. I just cut a little triangle off of the bottom just to make it a little easier. So just like that. And then I'm going to do the other one that I have, since I'm making an N and I'm making a G. Now what I did for my letters is I just used a template on a computer, and I printed out the templates for the letters, and then I just cut them out. If you don't want to do that, you can draw the letters. You don't even have to have letters if you don't want to. You can just put flowers. You can. I also printed out the template for the flowers, just because this would be an easy one to cut out. You don't want to use one that has too many designs, or one that's too intricate, because it'll be too difficult to cut out. So I just used an easy template. And again, you can use any shape you want to, however you would like to do it. So I just cut the end off here, and now I'm going to cut the bottom off. There. So I have the little, I'm going to do that side. So I can even flip that around because I don't want a picture on it. Or I'll just use it as the back. Okay. So what I did is I cut out the little flower, and and I also, I used a Easter gift bag, and then I had just a regular gift bag that was lying around the house. So I did that one, and then I used some yellow scrapbook paper that I had. But again, you can use anything that you want, doesn't matter. So what you do is just trace it. Very simple. Doesn't have to be perfect. Again, these are just materials that you have around the house. I'll see if that is going to be okay. I find that if you cut the paper smaller, usually it's easier to cut your design out. So I'm going to set that over there. And I'm just going to cut out this little flower here. Okay. So I won't make you wait while I cut this flower out, although I'm almost finished here. So I just want to show you how I glued it onto the paper and how I glued my letter. And again, if you don't have glue laying around the house, if you don't have kids, and you just have tape, you can probably just use that too. However you want to do it. Okay. So there's my little flower. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. So all I did was just take my paper and I'm just going to glue this right on top here, and you can glue it any way you want. So I'm just going to put glue on the back of this flower here. Just make sure you have enough so that it doesn't come undone. Okay, and I'm just going to stick it right there. Always put your top on your glue so it doesn't go dry on you. So part of it's sticking up, so I can see that I need some more glue. This is not the best glue in the world, but again, if you're just using items that you have around the house, you just kind of have to make do with what you have. And you'd be surprised at how nice it looks regardless, even if it's not perfect. And this glue is good because it dries quickly. Alright, so you get the idea. And then what I'm going to do, again, I just printed out some letters from the computer and I cut them out. If you don't want to use your computer, if you don't want to waste your ink, or you don't have any paper or whatever, you can draw them on paper, you can cut them out. Anything is fine because it's just creative and something nice to do while you're being quarantined. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right on my letter, and I'm going to stick it right to the middle of that flower. And then what I'm going to do is put my hole punches in. So on these I just used 2 on each corner, 2 holes on each corner. I'm going to go ahead and put the holes in here. Okay. And if you use twine, it's very easy to get it to stay on your twine. So I'm going to go up from underneath. And I didn't even staple the papers together, and honestly the only reason I used 2 is just so that it's a little more sturdy when it's hanging. You probably don't have to use 2 unless you want to. And I'm going to put it through. And so I like the little twine or the string or whatever to show on the top there. So I have one more, and that's going to be the G. And so I have one that I had already done ahead of time, so I'm going to just use that one for time's sake. And I have my little G, so I'm going to put some glue on there. You don't want to get glue all over your flowers, so if you have newspaper or whatever, you can use that to glue on so you don't mess anything up. And I'm just going to flip it over and stick my little G on there, and now I have all of my letters for my spring banner. Again, if you want to make a summer banner, or you can make one for whatever it is that you're interested in, or whatever theme you have in your living room, or you can even make them for birthday parties. Okay, and I just stuck that on there, so as you can see, I am finished with my spring banner using old book pages, so it's very creative and very easy. It took me probably about maybe 30 minutes to do, and I'm going to go ahead and hang it on my mantle above my fireplace. So, from Forsyth County Public Library, I hope that you enjoyed this craft video, and if you try it, let us know how it works out. Thank you. Again, my name is Diana, and I work at the Hampton Park Library.